Welcome to the Baseball Pack Rim podcast. I am Rob Pennant, and I'm going to be sharing with you an interview a phone call I did with Francis Poni, who grew up in Compton, California, played high school baseball at Carson High, did community college baseball at Harbor College. He was drafted in high school, but then also drafted out of college as well. He's a great story, a Samoan player, and it's very interesting on his perspective throughout his journey for baseball. So I'm excited for you to hear Francis Poni. Here you go.
Okay, here we go. Calling Francis Poni. Check this guy out.
Hello.
Hello, Francis.
Yo, what's up, bro?
How are you, man?
All right, brother. All good, man.
I bet it was a surprise when you got the message on Facebook. I'm like, yo, what's up, dude?
Yeah, man. I was like, oh, this is my old brother right here, man. Shoot.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah. So thank you for jumping on, and I know I messaged you a little bit about what this call is going to be, but essentially, man, you've had a great career in baseball, and with your story of the ups and downs of how you got there and even when you started, I think it's going to be a great display of triumph and hard work, and then also just your family coming together to help you get to where you ended up at, man, in baseball. So I wanted to see if you'd be open to sharing your story on that journey from
for sure.
Carson
man. A lot of hard work, a lot of family, a lot of prayer. Oh yeah, a lot of that stuff's definitely essential for you know.
So let's start from the beginning.
Start
from the beginning.
Beginning? How far back you want to go?
Because a lot of Polynesians are known to play football, but did you play football, Pop Warner, or how old were you when you started playing?
I played street football. That's the farthest I've gotten ever. So I grew up in Compton, and we grew up, poor and, struggling. Parents came from Samoa, and then, just the struggle. So I grew up wanting to be, like the OGs on the street. So they played street football. That's what I wanted to do. Until one day, they wanted to play baseball, so they had a tennis ball, and they cut off a rake handle and used it as a bat. And ever since
How
then,
old were you?
I was about 6, let's say, 6 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, so from there, just watching all these older guys, with baggy pants swing the handle, and I was like, oh man, whatever they did, I wanted to do. So, after that, I started swinging and connecting with the tennis ball. So, that whole thing of connecting with the ball was it for me. I was like, oh man, kind of love this thing. So eventually, went to school. School passed out a flyer saying if they wanted to play, some Little League. Went home and took it to my dad, and my dad, you should see, like, his eyes just lit up. And like, oh, you want to play baseball? Okay, that's something different. So, Pops took it. I was like, all right, took my older brother, and we both went on and played some Little League. So that's how it all started, just little kid from the hood, and picked up a handle and just went with it. So, but yeah, and then that was it. It was just trying to look up to those guys. Well, maybe it wasn't the right people to look up to, but as a young kid living in, you really don't have no choice. So
yeah,
but that all started playing Little League, started to get organized baseball, and then just got better and better. My dad was always there, pushing us and trying to get us the right lessons and with the right instructors to get us to where we wanted to be. So, and for us, we really wanted to make my dad proud. So, we practiced as hard as we could, and man, it was tough as a kid, man, but we made it happen. So man, we just loved the game. Our passion for the game just grew and grew, and it's just we couldn't just the smell of the field. We just wanted to be there.
Yeah, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I was just gonna ask, what did you like about it? And I guess it's just that experience of being on the field every day and with your friends.
Yeah, it was basically took over my life. Like, we really didn't have a childhood. I mean, we got to a point where we played so consistently and got better and better that, we ended up, saying yes to a bunch of coaches and playing for, about 3 different teams at the same time.
Wow.
So we were always busy, just running from, this city to this city, playing in different tournaments, state to state, and
wow.
we traveled all over the place, and we just kept getting better and better as kids and growing up, and we played in tournaments where we see players from different states, and we recognize them, and it's funny too because playing pro ball, you actually meet these other guys, and it's like, hey, who did you play for when you were this age? Like, man, we played against you guys. So it's just, it's a real tight community that, once you play, you're in that community where you can say, hey, I played on this tournament, when I was 12, I was top 10 in doubles in that tournament. Like, hey, I was top 10 in home runs that tournament too. And we're playing
right.
Against each other in Pro Bowl. So it's just, it's wow. And we even see each other on the street, and we're like talking for hours about, like different, experiences and where he played, where I played, and it's just, it's good talk always, when we talk baseball.
Yeah. Growing up, did you have a favorite player?
Yeah, I did. Well, I mean, it kind of switched, but growing up, it was Ken Griffey Jr. He was a cool guy, backwards hat and everything. So, yeah, Griffey was my guy. But then as I got a little bit older, I really liked Cal Ripken. Ripken was one of my guys. Mm-hmm. He played through injury. He did whatever it took to stay in the game. Or, if he was in a slump, he always had a different batting stance. If he wasn't comfortable, he would change the way he, his batting, his hands. He would use gloves, no gloves. Pine tar, no pine tar, but he would always change it just to feel different, so I like that about, because he always adjusted.
You're right.
And, then he's the Iron Man, so he played, 3,000 games. So,
right. Consecutive games.
He's a man. So.
Awesome. So when do you think, growing up, was it in middle school or early in high school, that you felt like, I'm really good at this game?
Well, you know what? I think it was when I was 12. When I was 12, we won back-to-back national championships in baseball. I played for this travel ball team called the Carson Reds, and we traveled all over the place. And it was about that time where
what position
I knew
did you play?
This is what I wanted to do. I'm trying to at 12 years old, winning our second national championship, I knew this was it. As a catcher, I walked on the field confident all the time. I always thought all right, well, I'm the best player on the field. I had to think that way. I was always thought, oh, I'm the best player on the field right now. I don't care how big they are or how old you are, I'm better than you. And so, you know what I mean? So I had a little street swag that I bring with me everywhere.
Right.
You know what I mean? I didn't care how far you were going to hit it, I would hit it farther. So I had to take that mentality with me everywhere I went. Because, if you did, I had to have that advantage over somebody. You know what I mean? So, that confidence. Yeah. And that really, elevated my game. Took it to a whole nother level.
Yeah. Do you think that was came from your background growing up?
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. Man, I look up to my pops, my dad, the way he, his work ethic. Going home, always did extra for the family, and told us, what our foundation was. Hey, we sit down, we say prayer, we do everything the right way, we be good people, and then, you know that whatever you do it right the first time. That way you don't have to do it again. Or you know, just like different sayings that he would have. He's like, hey, if you do it, man, go at it 100%. You know, don't hold anything back. If you make a mistake, make it big. You know, so, you know, different stuff like that. Like, all right, if I make a mistake, no big deal. Brush it off and do it again.
Yep. That's good.
So little things like that I took that really elevated my game.
So in high school, what high school did you go to, and were you guys pretty competitive in high school?
I don't think we were okay. I went to Carson High School. We were okay. We had some Usos that played alongside, you know, them, James Allo and Jason Laval. You know, they were a couple years older than me. And then the late Ephraim Skips also played a couple years with us. Yeah, we're okay. We're okay in the Marine League. You know, but my career didn't really start to, you know, elevate until, I'd say, college. So I did okay in high school, but then, you know, enough for me to get drafted, you know, by the Reds out of high school. And then, you know, after that, I re-entered the draft and went to junior college and, you know, got drafted by the Pirates again. So
in high school, when you got drafted the first time, did they tell you that they were going to draft you? How was that experience like?
Oh, man. So we ended up, it was a big tournament that we have every Easter. We go to Vegas, and our high school goes, and, you know, it's a big high school tournament out there. And there's one scout that from the Reds that, you know, came up to me, and he was like, hey, we want to see you run the 40. And then I was like, oh, man. You know, I didn't really know who he was, or, you know, like, I played on scout ball teams, you know, throughout, you know, my sophomore year and senior year. So this guy came, and I thought he was just one of those guys that just wanted to see me run, and I didn't really think too much of it, really. So I ended up not running. I don't know what I told him. I think I said, you know what, my knees are hurting, or it's like, man, this kind of doubleheader, like. But I didn't. Yeah, man, I kind of felt bad, but then I was like, man, I really am tired, and so I didn't run. But that was and then the next time I see him, you know, I get a phone call, and it's this guy, and he tells me, hey, we just took you in the 44th round of the draft. And I was like, do I even know you? He's like, yeah, remember me in Vegas? I told you to run for me, but you didn't run. I was like, oh my God. You know, but I was, you know, really grateful, and, you know, I thanked him for, you know, even, you know, taking a look at me and giving me a chance.
That's
you know,
awesome.
But it was so crazy because I didn't know that I was going to get drafted. Honestly, I thought I did okay, and that there might be a chance, but I didn't really dwell on it, and you know, I wasn't by the phone waiting. You know, I was just you know, continuing, you know, doing whatever a teenager does. So
This is senior
I remember this was my senior year,
yeah.
And then I remember going to school, and they announced it on the PA system at school that I got drafted. And I was like, oh shoot, man! Like, you know, I was a little like, oh dang, a little embarrassed. And then, you know, it was after that, you know, after they made that announcement, everybody's walking around to their next class. Oh man, I got a lot of love from everybody. I was like, oh damn, you know, everybody showed me some love. And I'm like, oh man, now you want to talk to me? No, no, but from there, man, you know, it just to know that. From that moment, like, man, these guys really, like, take my game serious. All the hard work that I put in that is finally starting to show. So, you know, after that, like, my workouts became more intense. You know, I shut off pretty much, like, my, you know, going out with any of my friends. You know, they understood, though. They understood, like, with the path that I was in, that, you know, hey, he's cool whenever he's ready, you know, to go hang out, he will. But, you know, I really didn't have an issue with that because, you know, just growing up, my parents always told me to handle business first. So that's what I did, because I already knew, like, there's always going to be time for that,
Right.
But to get where I need to go, I'd have to, just bear down and get my work done.
Yeah. So did you sit down with your parents and say, hey, these guys called me and said they drafted me. What should I do? What was that decision making like?
Yeah.
And when you told them,
they actually called my dad, and my dad gave me the phone. And then my dad was like, Who's this guy? So, it was like, Dad, he's one of the scouts from, in Vegas when we went up there for the tournament. So, it's like, oh, man, oh, shoot, that's the guy you didn't run for. So, but, we sat down and talked about, what came next and what the process was. And, being drafted in the fourth round, it was a draft and follow. So, I ended up playing another year at JUCO, and then, gave them the opportunity. I actually did it really well my freshman season in college. Just, more hard work put in, and it showed out that year. So I put up better numbers than I ever did. And then, actually the more home runs that even for me, I was little, like, well, I didn't think I was going to put up that much, in that category. So, that really elevated my draft stock. So, from there, Cincinnati came in, and we tried to work out a deal, but it was just, we sat down with mom and dad, and we figure, since did well to re-enter the draft and try again, see where I can land. That's where Pittsburgh came in and took me up in the 29th round. So, yeah, man, it was good. It was good. It was a process, but it was good for me. It got me where I wanted to go eventually. But
yeah,
it was tough. It was tough. But it was a good call. I think sitting down and talking with my parents, I think it ended up being the right decision. So
yeah. And you entered into obviously the next level after high school, so it was a little more structured, and you got to work a little harder and be a little more focused.
Right,
at JUCO.
And even at junior college, you get, just the next level of coaching. So, you get these guys, and you're practicing more than 2-a-days now. You have, you're practicing in the fall and playing fall ball and doing, winter league and all these, man. It's those times, man. I never really took those practice games. I never really took it for granted. I always played like my career depended on it. Like somebody was watching me at all times. You know what I mean? Like, and I knew nobody was there, but just I just wanted to make sure, like, put that in my mind, like that you play like you ain't gonna play no more.
Yeah, you never know who's watching.
You never know.
Yeah.
And I always thought my dad was watching. So
nice.
I never wanted to disappoint my dad. So my dad actually worked for the state. He was a Caltrans worker, and he would bring his big truck over, and sometimes we're at Harbor College at LA Harbor in Wilmington. So he would come. He's not too far from the college, and he'd bring his buddies, go to Busy Bees up in San Pedro, grab a sandwich, and come and hang out in the parking lot and watch us practice. I'll go and say what's up to Pops, and, some of the guys would go up and say, give him a wave. They knew he was there. So, I'd always, look up in the corner to see if he was there. Sometimes he'd be there, sometimes not. But, I always loved that, he was there for me. So there's a lot of support from my family that, was really big, influential in my life.
Right. So that's awesome. So you get drafted, you guys celebrate, it's exciting, and then it's time to leave. How was that transition like? Because now you're in a different place without family. It's just you, baseball, and competition.
Man, it was crazy. It was exciting though. It was real exciting. I knew I was going to go on my own. It was actually like, I loved my family. I was going to miss them, but I was ready. I was ready for this moment. Just grabbing on all my stuff, making sure everything was good. As soon as I got there, man, I just, I like the same mentality that I'd have when I was in Little League. You know, like, all right, I'm the best dude in here.
Nice.
You know, I was standing around looking, and, you know, these guys that come in earlier, some of these guys are big leaguers. I'm looking at that time, you know, Jason Bay was there, and he had a really good year that year. I'm seeing Jose Mesa there, you know, just a couple big leaguers, and I'm like, yeah, I'm the best player. Okay, maybe I'm the middle.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, but I knew my work was cut out for me, but I was ready, you know, like, man, it's from where I came from, man, ain't no stopping now. So, you know, just, you know, day by day, just going out there, meeting new guys, and, you know, hearing their story, where they came from, you know, seeing first round draft picks come in, and, you know, they're playing the same position as you. So I'm like, oh, okay. Wow. So, you know, the competition is there. Even though you guys play the same, you try to help each other out as much as you can. But at the same time, you know, like, you're competing for playing time. You know, so
how did that feel like?
Oh man,
going up against just really good players.
You know, because everybody's good. I mean, and everybody's about your age. So, you know, I'm going in there, and, you know, I see this guy. He's the same build as me. He can throw just like me. He can hit just like me. So, what's gonna make me stand out? You know, so, you know, I just tried as hard as I could to be first one in the weight room, last one out, you know, and as a catcher, you know, we kind of made like a little group where we were going to do that. We were going to be the group that was the first one in, the last one out. So we kind of did it as a group, but then, you know, during drills, we would try to outdo one another.
Right.
And so there's little things like that where, you know, you have little competition games amongst you, you know, but you keep it competitive, but you're still knowing that, okay, we're on the same team, but you know, we're still trying to compete for playing time. So little by little, it just got better and better each time, each game, and, you know, turned out a, you know, decent career, you know. So, but every day was a grind, you know, just early work, you know. It will come out, you know, do your 4 hours, something, you know, get your medicals in, or, you know, make sure you're right, go out, play the game, come back, do it again the next day. You know, they had meals for you, you know, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, you know. So, you know, sometimes we'll travel a couple hours and play at 8 o'clock in the morning. So we're up, you know, early. You know, that was just spring training. So, you know, just going through that whole grind, I loved every second of it, because I knew, like, you were a part of a group that, you know, the 1% that you know, was competing to get to the big league.
Yeah.
So, you know, I never took any day for granted. I missed my family, though, but I knew they were there. And it was up to me to keep going day by day and grind.
Yeah.
But it was real competitive, though, real competitive.
How did you handle some of the hardships that you encountered? Whether it was a slump or, how did you go through that?
That was tough. My rookie season in rookie ball, I didn't do too well. It wasn't anything like, you know, I missed home or anything like that. It's just I didn't really get a good feel that year. I was, you know, we had a hitting coach, and you know, it was just he really tried to change like my swing a little bit, but I just really wasn't comfortable with it. So, you know, that first year was a real struggle. So, you know, it was until my second season where I kind of, you know, just had to take control of my own career and go back to basics and what I knew. It didn't go over too good with my hitting coach, but you know, it ended up working out for me. You know, you know, it won me actually the first baseman spot that year. You know, because I was going up against a first round catcher in Neil Walker. He actually plays second base now for, I think, the Mets. And and also another catcher out of Nevada, a third rounder who was actually really, really good. So I was competing with them at the catching spot, but I ended up, staying in the lineup because of, my bat. So I ended up playing some first base and, started, really, getting the hang of, some that pro ball and the daily grind and start finding my swing again. So
yeah, so that's good because you learned that early. You were self-aware enough to, early enough in your career to make some of those drastic adjustments, even though it's your coach, right? That's like trying to tell you something to try, but you're self-aware enough to do that. That's good.
Right, and I knew it, like in my heart, I knew like this wasn't me, like this. I've never played ball like this, like my stance.
Wow.
It wasn't comfortable. So like I took it upon myself to be like, you know what, like I just really have to trust in what I grew up doing. So in seeing that, I started seeing better results. I was more relaxed at the plate. I was more disciplined. I wasn't, trying to get that hit. I just let it come. I was more selective. And everything started coming down, and it it ended up helping out with my defense too, because that kind of confidence, I'll get a couple hits here and there and catching a good game. It just helped my all around game. So, that's where it kind of got a little better from there. So, yeah, man, just take, bits and pieces and putting them together and just making sure that I have my game, and that I bring my game to it. So, yeah, it ended up working out, but, it was real difficult because, these guys are coordinators that travel, from AAA to single A to double A, and they, make sure that, the prospects are getting, the attention that they need as far as, their hitting and their timing. And, I know they have so many players that they have to, but, I didn't want to be just, another spot on the book where, let's just go see how he's doing. I wanted to, have to take matters into my own hands and do my own thing, so.
That's good, man. I think that's a good lesson.
You got to do those things, yeah.
Yeah, you got to trust yourself. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, man, I had to talk with my dad. It's like, Dad, man, I don't know, it's just not working for me. He just told me, hey, man, just got to do what what got you there. So, I just like, I looked up to Ripken, and that's why I really admire him because, whenever something was working, he tweaked something up a little bit to make it feel comfortable again. So that's why I was like, huh. So I tried that. I took a little of his game and I tried it. And once I found what clicked, what worked, I stuck with that. So, but I had to go back to basic and then, and go from there. So, but yeah, man, it's a lot of, experimenting and, seeing what works, what don't work, going back to what you've known and putting it all together. That's how your game is formed. So, but yeah, man, pro ball was man, a great experience from, playing every day and, getting paid for it. Making it a job is crazy. It's like, man, I'm getting paid to do this. This is awesome.
What was your life like in the off season?
Off season was a lot of training. I did work. I tried to get a little part-time, job at the park actually that would allow me to have access to fields and weight rooms. And there's a couple pitchers in the area that would call me to come and try to get some sides and I would go catch them because that would help me out. Work on my receiving and some blocking and getting my running in with those guys because pitchers, man, they have to run. So just getting my conditioning in. Yeah. So getting my conditioning in and making sure I have access to the field that really helped me out. So I worked out right here at Scott Park in Carson, and You know, there's a couple other guys that was with me that was trying to sign on to a team, so we all worked out together, and you know that was pretty much our off-season life. But you know, there's a couple of times where you know I'll go out to some of my friends that played pro ball too, and we'd work out in different, like I took a trip out to Houston, and one of my good friends out there, and we got a couple sessions in with one of his good instructors that he knows, grew up with, and you know, just a couple things that you know we worked on in the off season that really helped our game out. So you know, off season was a lot of training, and it was a lot of focus. It was the same thing out as kind of like we were in season, not really a lot of room to go out and you know really hang out, because you know the off season is where you really try to get better. So you know it was always a grind on and you know in season and off season too.
What was your mental game like? Did you have to do a lot of kind of working on yourself a lot, not necessarily on the physical side, but more on the emotional, psychological, the mental side of the game and preparation as a pro ball? What was that like for you?
Yeah, you know, like the mental side, I really, you know, like when I got in slumps, like it was hard because I didn't really know like exactly what was going on, because it felt right, but it wasn't right. So I knew it was something in my head. So, you know, I had to just like, you know, just let it go. I'd have to, you know, sometimes you can swing so much, you know, in the cage, and it all feels the same. Sometimes I just had to put the bat down, you know, and it's, you know what, I'm good. No, don't take BP. You know, just go, you know, to just kind of clear my head. You know, I did that a couple of times. Actually, one of my my assistant coaches told me, you know, he had told me, hey, you know what? Get out of here. Like, what do you mean? Like, man, I need this now. I need it the most. You know, so he's like, nah, man. Like, you know, just go out, go hang out. You know, like sometimes you just need to give it a rest. Let it come back to you. So I did that a couple of times, and you know what? Like, just from that, I wasn't thinking about it as much. You know, I'd go and, you know, just, you know, stretch out and you know, just, you know, talk about, you know, other aspects of the game and besides my hitting. And man, I swear, like maybe like a week or two after that, man, I took one BP. It was almost like the best BP of my life. I was like, man, I was just playing, you know, just hitting that pitching net, you know, the L screen. I was just playing pepper off that L screen, and I took that into the game. And my approach was, man, it was almost like it was realigned. You know what I mean? Like my timing came back down. I don't know if it was too early or, you know, too late, but you know, that time away really kind of helped me settle down. You know, so like, you know, I try to not to, you know, think about, because, you know, once you think too much about the game, you know, everything's, it kind of messes up. It messes up everything. It's just, you know, you can't really think too much. You just got to play the game, you know. So that was, you know, when I was in slumps, I'd always try to, you know, because that happened early on in my career where, you know, I was just like, man, really pressing. And I was like, man, why am I? It feels right, but it's just not right. You know what? Let's just put the bat down. You know, put the bat down. Okay, just step away for a little bit, take a deep breath. You know, a couple of days go by. You know, I'll just do my minimum now. If I had to do it, you know, if I had to go in there, and I'll just take my couple oppo hacks and just leave it at that. So okay, so you know, day goes by, 2 days go by. Okay, now let's do it. Bam, and I'm in the rhythm and I'm good. And I'm like, okay, let's take this into the game. That's when it really started. You know, so I always go back to that. If I started slumping again, like, okay, slow it down, you know, and go from there. So, you know, that really worked out for me to just kind of step away, take a deep breath, and, you know, try not to really, you know, think about it too much, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What was there a moment in any of the years that you played that you'll never forget? Like, it's something that you'll always remember and be proud to tell your kids about, in a game? Do you have
Oh,
any one of
man.
those moments?
Man, I do. I have a couple, but there's one in
Nice.
particular. I think it was my third year in pro ball. I was in Williamsport, and I was playing short season single A, and I was coming off the bench that year, playing first base, little catcher, and then we'll play. I'll DH every now and then. You know, there's some high draft picks that were on my team. You know, Andrew McCutcheon was one of them. But good thing he didn't play my position. So
Yeah.
I was good there. You know, he was an outfielder. Like, oh, man, you got to worry about that. You know, but there was other high draft picks that were playing in my position. So, you know, I couldn't really get in the groove that year. You know, I was really struggling because I was probably playing every 3 days. You know, so, but I would always maybe at least get a hit, you know, in those games. So what happened is, you know, since I had experience playing first base as well, you know, I had a new manager that year. He didn't really know me a lot. So, you know, once he cut in, like, oh, I can also play first, I started getting more at-bats and started getting in the game more. I ended up making the all-star team that year. I was like, wow, like, man, like, you know, it was a real surprise for me because, you know, I wasn't an everyday starter. So, you know, our team didn't really do that well that year. We had a couple good guys. I don't know if you know, Steven Pierce was on that team. He just won the MVP for the Boston Red Sox. But he was on that team. And, you know, we'd have conversation. He was actually our first baseman. So, you know, we would always talk about, you know, stuff like, you know, playing time and you know, trying to, you know, playing, you know, me playing every 3 days to, you know, how I can keep my, you know, stay in my groove, you know, from getting, you know, hit here and there. So that year making the All-Star team was a big, you know, surprise. And I'll never forget one of our hitting coordinators that came up one day, and it was fireworks night. So it was crowded. It was just, you know, the packed, you know, stands. The stands were full and they were screaming. It was a game we played against one of the Boston Red Sox affiliated team that year. I forgot what what city they were from, but they came in town. Tie game. No, I think we were down by 1, and this hitting coordinator was there, and I wasn't playing. I wasn't playing that day, but all of a sudden, you know, the crowd starts chanting my name.
No
I was like, what?
way.
The whole crowd starts. I was like, but I didn't think I was anybody like special. You know, you have McCutcheon's out there, Pierce is out there. You have, you know, all these guys. Neil Walker was out there. We're on the same team. And, you know, they're chanting my name for me to go in. You know, because they knew like I was one of the all-stars on the team, but I wasn't. But I wasn't playing, so they were chanting my name. Hey, put Poni in. And I was like, wow. My hitting coordinator comes with me like, did you pay these guys to say that? I was like, what? No way, man. So I'll never forget that day. But I, you know, these guys were chanting my name and calling me to come in the game. And I was like, wow, man, these guys know me. They know who I am.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, wow, that's really, really something. So about 10,000 fans, you know, out there, and just, wow, it was pretty crazy.
That's awesome.
I know, that was I'll never forget that. So another one, you know, was when I played against, actually, I you know, this my family up in Inland Empire. His name is James Guerrero. He's a Guamanian, and he went to San Diego State. He got drafted by the Marlins, but we ended up playing each other up in pro ball. So when he came up to Williamsport, this was the exact time the Little League World Series was happening. And that year, Guam was there and Hawaii was there. So we played, and we had a day off. You know, in one of the days that I think Guam was playing and Hawaii was playing, we had a day off. So we both, you know, connected, and we went to the game, and we actually got to see both of them play, both teams. And man, it was so nice to see these, you know, Polynesian kids just, you know, playing their heart out, representing the, you know, the name on their shirt. And I was like, wow, man. Then we walk up there, you know, nobody knew who he was. So, we wanted to introduce ourselves. So, me and my cousin goes up there and we introduce ourselves. And, man, as soon as they found out like who we are and what we're doing there, man, you should see these kids' eyes light up, man. It was an amazing feeling. It was an amazing feeling to have them look at you like, man, like, and then the dads are like, this is where you guys want to be, and just talking to them about how much hard work and listening to their dads and their moms, you got to listen to your mom and dad, and, we give the parents a wink. So, but man, that was just an amazing feeling to have, to be able to witness that and be, where we were at, in that point in our lives, in our careers, to be able to, be a mentor to those kids and to say, be like, man, these are Polynesians, and we're your people,
right?
And we're and we're playing pro ball, so it is possible. Now you see them everywhere now. You have some guys that are playing minor league ball, and they're all spread out, and it's a beautiful thing. You see all these Polynesian last names. I'm like, heck yeah! Like now I'm a Rangers fan, I'm a Mariners fan, all these these guys that are coming up, and now I have kids, so they're looking, like, Dad, I've seen a Polynesian last name. He's playing for the Rangers, and I'm like, wow, that's amazing. So
that's good, man. And that's the hope with
so
this.
Many memories.
Yeah, I'm sure people that listen to your story with this podcasting, it's gonna stick, because it's guys like you that been there, done that, and then being able to share what you went through. It'll leave an imprint on people. I'm pretty sure, like those kids at the World Series, the Guamanians and the Hawaiians, they definitely will never forget the meeting you guys. So
yeah,
man,
that was an awesome time. Yeah, I'll never forget that. And that was really, really cool feeling to see those kids, man, just coming up and playing their hearts out for, I think it was like Eva Beach, Hawaii they came from, so it was good, man. All those memories, some good times for sure. What about, man, the memories, man, when we played together, brother?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So how did that happen? How did you end up being on the Samoa team?
Oh, playing at Harbor College. Murphy Sewell, Murphy Sewell, he coached at West Torrance High School and then at Cal State Dominguez Hills. But we've always known about Murph and Justin Sewell, my brother Justin. Congrats, man. He's the mental health coach for the Boston Red Sox. But
got a ring.
Yeah, got that ring, brother. Yeah, so. We've always been connected ever since we were young because, back in the days, there wasn't too many of us poly kids playing baseball. So if you've seen one, you're like, oh, man, we got to connect with them, or we got to know who they are, just to, keep that, community growing. So, growing up with Murph, so we've always known each other and followed, and he followed me wherever I went. So the opportunity came when he, was putting together that American Samoa team. Of course, man, I got that phone call from Murph, man. I was all on board, and that's when I met you, brother, man. I was like, oh, heck yeah, man, we playing for the American Samoa team, man. I'll never forget that, man. Yeah, that was a good time. It was a good time.
Yeah, quite the experience. We had some great players too, man.
Oh yeah,
really good squad.
Man, I wish we, wish we could have took that to more, the more tournaments. I know we went up to Canada and Wichita, right?
Right.
Yeah, man. But you know how it is. So I think we had a couple guys go off to college and a couple guys play some independent ball. So, but man, I think we should start it up again, brother. We call Murph up and put these boys together, man. It could be a different, a good thing.
I think there's a lot of young players, man, out there, and that's another reason why sharing your story is going to be very instrumental, because once you put it out there, their parents are going to listen and hear your journey again, and realize that, oh, is this opportunity still there? And that, yep, and he's like, okay, Murph.
Murph, where you at?
Yeah, I think he's the only guy that can pull this thing off, man.
Oh man, Murph, man, he's the man. That guy's the man right there.
Oh yeah,
so,
hands down, man.
But yeah, man, it's a long journey, man. It's I definitely don't regret any part of it. But I never would have got there without without God and the help of my family and and all the guys that I met along the way. So it's almost like you have to take bits and pieces of stuff that works for you and apply it to your game and apply it to your life, and that kind of makes you the player that you are and the person that you are. So,
nice.
That makes me the person that I am today where, I can, I'm a working family man now. So, and then when I get to the game, I can teach that to my kids exactly how it, I learned the game and, so pass that down the line, especially to our poly kids because, our Polynesian kids, we're not known to play baseball, so I really...
That's going to change, though. That's going to change, man.
Oh, yeah, bro. Yeah, man. Heck yeah, man. We got to get them out there and put a baseball in their hand, but...
Yeah.
Man, it's a good thing to see, more Polynesian kids take up baseball and really love the game. And, it's a beautiful thing because I know I played, and even playing with you, that passion that we had when we played the game was, it was something else. So
yeah.
But yeah, man, keep
Great,
that going.
Yeah, with people like you telling your story, it's going to definitely continue to spread. So, man, I appreciate you. This has been good, man. It felt like I was watching a movie, as you're going along and telling your story. So that's exactly what we want, so people can be immersed and feel like they're a part of it.
Man.
So
man,
I love it, man.
Thank you for having me on, brother. I appreciate that, man. Just to bring, tell stories and it'll bring back a lot of memories. So if I can, help anybody, out there, if my story can, reach out, help somebody, man, it's all good, man. It's all worth it.
It definitely will. I'm sure it will. So appreciate you, dude. Thanks,
all
man.
All right, brother. Man,
this
for
has been
sure,
awesome.
man. Big rocks. For sure, man.
We'll have to connect again.
Yeah, let me know anytime.
Yep. Cool. Okay, we'll talk to you soon, man.
Brother.
Appreciate it again.
All right, so take care, man.
Yep. Okay, thanks, man.